Fever Aces on Sunday Night Basketball. 2.64 million viewers on NBC and Peacock in prime time. Most watched WNBA regular season Sunday game since, wait for it, 1998. Folks, we've had ABC Sunday games since Caitlin Clark's entered the league. This rating right here, 2.64, most watched WNBA regular season game on Sunday since 1998.
Las Vegas was supposed to belong to A'ja Wilson. Instead, one Indiana Fever game turned the Aces' own backyard into the setting for an entirely different story. Caitlin Clark didn't just draw another huge crowd. She shattered a viewership record, where the defending champions were expected to own the spotlight. How did that happen? Why are fans saying this changes everything, and what happened behind the scenes that nobody saw coming?
Us as a team, we have it. We just got to find it within each other, and that takes time. But obviously, we spoiled a lot of people with our greatness, with our legendary basketball styles. We see people are running our stuff. And so we spoiled our fan base. We spoiled a lot of people with that, and now they expect that out of us every single game. And it's hard. People have their building years. People have their championship years. Everyone has that type of year, and I think we're in unfamiliar territory, but we're about to get real familiar with being uncomfortable and leaning on one another, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
As Caitlin Clark shattered another viewership record in Las Vegas, fans immediately reignited the debate over who truly drives the WNBA's popularity. For many, the timing couldn't have been more symbolic. Clark returned from injury on restricted minutes and still generated television numbers that eclipsed games featuring some of the league's biggest stars, including A'ja Wilson in her own arena.
Yeah, I just heard Caitlin Clark is out here pulling an all eyes on me on this WNBA. I mean, I've been told about people boycotting, people not going to the games and watching them, and somehow she's still finding a way to pull these ridiculous numbers in the viewership, man. I walked by somebody yesterday, they were legally blind, and said, man, I was watching Caitlin Clark the other night, man. She was balling. I said, how is she doing this? How is she doing this, man?
Whether that's fair or not, it has become one of the biggest conversations surrounding today's WNBA. What makes this story so fascinating is that it was never supposed to unfold this way. The defending champions were playing. At home point, one of the league's biggest superstars was on the floor, and Las Vegas has spent years establishing itself as the gold standard of the WNBA.
So there is a growing number of people who have been accusing Caitlin Clark of being racist. I've been seeing it everywhere on Twitter. These tweets are blowing up. Everybody wants to see Caitlin Clark fail. And the way that they're doing it is by, at this point, calling her a racist. And so they blame her for the actions of her fans. They blame her for not speaking up. And they blame her when she does speak up.
Now, it's on each and every last one of us from top to bottom, especially myself, to make sure that we're geared up and ready to play 40 minutes. And I don't know what that's going to take. I think it's going to take for us to continue to get our ass beat, for us to wake up. And it's going to click. And when it does, that's when you're going to see Aces basketball. But right now, we're just going to continue to get our ass beat until we man up.
If you had asked most people a few seasons ago which franchise would become the face of the league's television success, the overwhelming majority would have pointed directly at the Aces. Instead, one player wearing an Indiana Fever jersey walked into Las Vegas after missing time with an injury, played under restricted minutes, and somehow managed to produce another television event that left everyone talking long after. The final buzzer.
Caitlin Clark, you gotta denounce everything. Denounce this, denounce that. It's your fault for everything. You're the blame for everything. None of this stuff happened until you came in the league. Or maybe nobody watched the league until she came in the league, and now people are watching the league, and guess what? People are getting attention. So Chelsea Gray, she gets a message from a person who everybody want to jump on the bandwagon and say this is an Indiana Fever fan and this is blah 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 blah, and they come to find out this mother lover it's a Las Vegas sports bettor. I mean, he's just mad because he thought that Chelsea Gray.
That is exactly why this game became much bigger than basketball. IT turned into another chapter. In the ongoing debate over who truly drives the league's popularity, fans have argued about it for months, Television executives study it every week, and broadcasters know that every Caitlin Clark appearance has the potential to rewrite another page in the WNBA's ratings history. The numbers themselves are difficult to ignore. One of the more interesting storylines from the game was that, despite all the attention surrounding Caitlin Clark's return, it was Sophie Cunningham who quietly delivered one of her most complete performances in a Fever uniform. While much of the pregame discussion centered on Clark's minutes restriction and whether she would immediately regain her rhythm, Cunningham stepped into the spotlight and made life miserable for the Aces on both ends of the floor. Opponents have spent so much time focusing on slowing Clark that they sometimes leave opportunities for everyone else. When defenses collapse on Clark's shooting range or try to cut off her passing lanes, players like Cunningham suddenly find themselves with room to operate. She took full advantage, making smart decisions, attacking when the opportunities presented themselves, and providing exactly the type of complementary basketball that makes the Fever much harder to defend than earlier in the season.
Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, the Indiana Fever put hands and feet all over Asia Wilson, Alyssa Smith, and the Las Vegas Aces tonight in Las Vegas. From the word go, the Aces did not stand a chance. Kelsey Mitchell doing her thing, Aaliyah Boston doing her thing. Aaliyah Boston had a good game. I got to give credit where credit is due. Caitlin Clark, even with minutes restriction, even with her hands tied behind her back, still put in some work.
For Las Vegas, however, the game exposed several problems that have become increasingly difficult to ignore. The Aces simply never looked like the dominant team that won back-to-back championships. Their offense lacked its usual rhythm, possessions frequently stalled, and they struggled to put together the sustained runs that have defined so many of their victories over the past few years. Instead of dictating the tempo, they spent long stretches reacting to Indiana's energy, which is not a recipe for success against a team playing with growing confidence. Perhaps even more concerning was the defensive effort. The Aces have built their reputation on disciplined execution. Yet there were too many possessions where Indiana found open looks, moved the ball comfortably, or attacked gaps that should not have existed. The supporting cast for Las Vegas also struggled to make a significant impact. Championship teams usually receive timely contributions from multiple players, but too often the offensive burden fell on the same familiar faces. Indiana, meanwhile, continued to receive meaningful production throughout its rotation, making it much more difficult for the Aces to focus their defensive attention on one player. That balance has become one of the Fever's greatest strengths. As the season progresses,
I hear breaking viewership numbers, but she also have a legend talking down on her name, and I don't understand this, man. I do not understand this. She's out here doing things like this, and you say she's not the face of the league, or calling her the face of the league is disrespectful to all the other ones, all the other players that came before her. Like, what does that mean? We got to get into it, but let's go ahead and read this right here, man. It says here, NBC and Peacock deliver most watched WNBA game of 2026 season with Fever Aces on Sunday Night Basketball. Game average total audience delivery, TAD.
this is not to suggest that the Aces have suddenly become a bad basketball team. Meanwhile, Indiana